Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome back, everybody. This is one of my favorite things to talk about. I'm always studying it, trying to learn it. It can change your life, I hear, if you do it right. I am talking about manifestation, but also this other word, intention. Being intentional about things you do, even being intentional about manifesting, I would assume. She harnesses the power of lots of insight connected to all of this because it's all about energy. She's a Reiki energy healer, coaches people. She's a yoga fanatic too. I got to throw that in there. And she's Linzi Schreiner, and she's back with us. How are you doing today?
Hi, thanks, Steve. I'm doing fabulous. Happy to be here with you.
I am not even sure where we should begin with manifesting, or should we, cart before the horse? Should we start with the intention side of what we're going to deal with today?
Yeah, we can start with the intention part of the deal. So I think where we start is, how do you start your day? Do you just jump out of bed and begin it? Or do you take a moment to think about how you'd like your day to unfold, how you would like to feel? Can you answer that question?
I know the right answer, and I don't.
I want the real one.
I know because I don't do what I should do.
Oh,
I just know. The day starts with me waking up today. Well, we'll go today. Took the dog for a walk. Um, didn't really reflect outside like I should have because I was watching the clock. I like to write in a gratitude journal. I didn't do it today because I just had things on my mind and I just had to keep moving forward. Um, when I'm intentional about a better start, I lay in bed and I think, and I try to take that time. So I know where you're going with this, and I should be doing it, and I'm aware of it, but I don't.
well, don't shit all over yourself.
I know. Yeah.
Um, I like to ask because I'd say 90% of people probably start their day with, oh my gosh, it's 6:45, I'm already behind. And then the day starts.
Hmm.
And we're constantly behind all day long. And I wonder, do we feel that way because we started our day? Our very first thought was, oh my gosh, I'm behind. And that panic begins to rise up, and that brings forth that energy. And that's where your first moment is and carries through. Um, so that's intention. Whether we realize it or not, we set the intention, we made the decision, and we had the belief that we were behind the second our eyes opened. And
Mm.
therefore, that is the intention we set for our day. I
And
think
and you
intention is
probably will
really
be
powerful.
behind. You'll probably be behind all day long because you started that way. And if somebody can't grasp that word intention, tone. You set the tone for the day.
Hmm.
If somebody wakes up, spills some coffee, it's going to happen, right? Whatever.
Yep.
Now, if you wallow in it, so coffee, what else is going to happen today?
It's gonna be a bad day, right? We
Right.
kind of throw that out there.
Hmm.
That's intention. And it can go both ways. Our thoughts, our experience is so powerful. We have so much power that we don't even realize that we have, because we live in a world that, I'm sorry, but makes us feel powerless. But the reality is we control our world. We control our perception. We control how we view things. Take your mood, for example. You wake up, you're feeling kind of grumpy that day, you spill your cup of coffee, it gets you more grumpy. It kind of starts that snowball effect, because the intention, the belief that we have is, oh, this is going to be such a horrible day. But if we spill that coffee and we go, whoops, well, you know what? I didn't like that shirt anyways. Maybe I just needed to change it today. And you know what? I've been drinking so much coffee lately. Maybe I need to have tea, and just have compassion for ourselves.
Mm.
It's amazing how things can shift around. And it really starts when we open our eyes first thing in the morning. And sure, I would love for everyone on the planet to have an hour every morning to themselves before their world begins, to think about all of the beautiful things they'd like to call into their day. It's not reality. We don't all have that time. And maybe sometimes we do, maybe sometimes we don't. And so I don't want anyone thinking that I can't set good intentions if I don't have this beautiful moment every day. It's simple as opening the eyes when you feel that anxiety start to bubble up in your throat just by your eyes opening. Take a
I
moment.
I get
Just
you
take a
on that.
moment.
I'm dealing with it now. I'm going to be honest. We're transparent here.
Yeah.
Um, have some stuff coming up, like this work stuff, and my brain is like, oh my God, I got to do this. I got to take care of that. I got to do that. I need to tap the brakes and just say, it's all going to work out. It's all going to be good. Take a blank and deep breath and enjoy it, as opposed to looking at it like, well, I'm committed between, 9 a.m. and 5 tomorrow. It's, weekend. Then I'm going to be doing the same thing the day after that. And it's all good. I'm working on a project, but yeah, want a little time off. However, it is what it is, and just enjoy it. And just enjoy
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
So intention is a mindset. It's directing your life instead of letting life happen to you.
That's a great thing that you just said. And I don't think we realize it. Take control over it. At least in your mind, take control over it. Instant feedback, Steve at gmail.com. You can reach us at 631-319-6275. I think we have a call. Can you hear us?
Yes, hello, sir.
Hi, who's this?
My name is Eric.
Hey, Eric. How's it going?
Going good. How you doing?
Really well. We have Lindsay here ready to answer your questions. Did you have one?
Yeah. So lately, I feel like my energy just been a little off. Someone suggested a Reiki session to me, but I don't know if it'll help me out. So I was just, wondering what would I need to do to prepare myself for a Reiki session, or get into Reiki.
Yeah, what a great question. I love that someone suggested Reiki because of how you were feeling. And it's just because it can help in so many different ways, especially when we're feeling not ourselves or going through a harder time. I think the best way to prep for a Reiki session is try not to think too much about it. Um, but create space around the appointment. This is something that really helps the clarity and just the processing that can happen with a Reiki session. When scheduling, look at your calendar, make sure you don't have anything busy going on right after. You need to give yourself a little bit of time after going into a session to integrate or really just to kind of think through what popped up. I like to go for walks, taking a shower or a bath, like something that you can do to integrate and bring the discussion and anything that came up, give it space to plant in you, really. And then for a couple days after, just make sure you don't have to go to the grocery store or you don't need to be in a big public area like going to the movies or being at a party, because what happens during an energy healing session is your energy centers are cleared and open. So you are really susceptible and really in a place of rest. And it's easy to get overwhelmed. And you want to spend that time with yourself as much as you can. And so when going into something new like Reiki, especially if you've never done it before, I just suggest looking at your calendar and making sure you've got a couple of days where you can just be still, be at home, and not be busy.
Okay. That sounds good. So maybe I'll aim towards like a Friday. And then that Friday after, I won't have nothing to do but take a walk, spend some time with the dog and the family. And then Saturday and Sunday, I can kind of just rest on it, let my energy, just uh clear back up. Like
Exactly.
days to myself after I go. After that Friday when I do, I'm gonna aim to do it on a Friday since you said after. Try not to do anything or go nowhere because your the way your energy is and how you're what did you just say, like receptible to things. So I'm gonna try to aim
Yeah.
for like a Friday and then take the
Well,
weekend to myself.
interesting.
Yeah,
Oh, appreciate you
exactly.
calling. I never heard that, Lindsay. And it makes perfect sense that it's almost like you're vulnerable. Your
Yeah.
energy field is now open. What about drinking lots of water before and after?
So, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. It's something I wish I would have said as well. Drinking water and being in water afterwards is so
Oh,
important. Just kind of flushes things through. I kind of think of it as getting a massage. When they're really deep in the tissues, it brings up a lot of impurities that are stored in our muscle tissue, right? And if we don't drink water, what happens? It gets stuck and we can actually get sick from those toxins rising up.
wow.
And so drinking water helps flush it. Energy is the exact same way. We just like imagine a stream of water or a river with pebbles underneath. It's clear until we walk through it. And what happens? Mud rises up. And so if we don't drink water, it'll stay murky. But if we drink water, all those impurities that we just riled up are able to flush through our system because our body is so powerful for moving toxins through, including energetic toxins. And water is key to life.
Mm. So all of this I never knew. And being in water, I mean, I've heard that you can actually energetically cleanse yourself by taking a shower
Yep.
if you set the intention.
If you set the intention, ha, so
Mm.
funny. I like that
Yeah,
little wink. Yeah, if
it's
you
true
set the
though.
intention, I'm rinsing off any impurities. You could do that every day. But
Mm.
taking a shower or a bath after a Reiki session is so key to simply wash away any lingering energetics that you don't need. That's why we feel so good after a bath, Like think
Right.
about after you've taken a nice hot relaxing bath, every muscle in your body feels good. And if you include the intention of clearing any energetic impurities, whew, just call me the next day and let me know how you slept.
I'm really seeing this word intention very powerful, much more than I ever did prior to talking here. Um, Before we go over to manifestation or manifesting,
Yeah.
energetically now, if we want to look at what's happening in our world, planetary alignment, I'm not going way woo woo here. However, I feel that there is lots of change going on around us. And that may be why some people, including the gentleman who just called in, may be experiencing or feeling, wonky energy. You just say,
Yes.
there's I'm not talking about the political situation or any of that. Move that over.
It
Although
doesn't help
it
anything.
doesn't help any, right? I know.
Yeah, don't watch the news after a Reiki session. That's
Oh
for
no.
dang sure.
No, no, no.
Um,
But just
yeah,
are you aware? Because I'm hearing things,
yes.
from time to time that there's, we got stuff going on. I think it was Pisces when direct station or I'm so out of my wheelhouse. But this week, like Wednesday, something happened, and somebody told me that it actually is the door opener to very positive change. But then prior to
Mhm.
that, we had two retrogrades and blah 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 blah.
Yes.
Your
Yeah,
thoughts?
I'm not an astrological expert by any means, but I like to follow it. I nerd and geek out on it myself.
Mm,
My understanding is we've just finished a major eclipse season. But
yeah.
also there was some movement with Pluto, which hadn't happened for 14 or 15 years, and then it locks us into a cycle for about 15 years. But the concept that I'm hearing about in the collective is we're kind of coming into a phase of losing the delusion of people pleasing and doing life for others and stepping more into a phase of personal empowerment and purpose for ourselves. So the
Mm,
dynamic in the collective is kind of shifting from a people pleaser mentality and hiding behind our fears to now feeling like we have more power in stepping into our true voices and our authenticity, which is like my word of the year,
yeah.
authenticity, and stepping into that full power that only you, Steve, can offer the world, right? Like you have an amazing light that only you have. Isn't that so cool? And I do too. And now we all are like the things that have been holding us back in our worlds and our lives are falling to the side. And we are now stepping into our voices and stepping into new and exciting things that are really, really meant for you. And so I think with that, there's a lot of energetic hangovers and a lot of feeling tired, and maybe feeling really thirsty, headaches, grumpy, overwhelm. There's so many what we call ascension symptoms as we're
Mm,
shifting through
mm.
these timelines, that we don't even know is going on. This is happening to all of us, whether we're aware of it or not. And so, yeah, I could geek out on this, and we could like
Oh, I
talk about
get
it
you.
all
Right
day.
away, I'm
Yeah.
hearing, in my mind, like, how I'm viewing the last like month or so. And for me, maybe others are feeling it, maybe you are. And I mean this in a very positive way, but get out of my way. Like just
Yes.
things, whether it's things, situations, people who don't support. I'm on a like, I want to go this way. I want to move. And I feel like things are just energetically need to be pushed out of the way some
Yes.
way, somehow.
So think about magnets, right? Like this is such a great visualization for what energetics truly is. When a magnet is on the right surface, what happens? Shoop, it like clings to it, right? But
Yep.
what happens when you put two magnets together that are facing the same side, right? There's so much resistance and it's just like, boo,
Yep.
eventually it pushes it away.
Yep.
That's what's happening right now for us as individuals. And so you might be losing people in your life that aren't vibrating at the same frequency as you. You might be calling in new friends or new people, new relationships, new work relationships because it is for you, but you're going to begin seeing these big shifts and changes challenging, and it can be very energetically draining. So if you need a
Mhm.
Reiki practitioner, I know a girl
Yeah, me too.
that
Me
can
too. And she's
that can
really
hook you
good,
up.
very insightful, and she also knows a lot about manifesting. So this whole and it's in line with the intention and definitely the magnet and the attraction. It's been said that what you think becomes your reality, and that is manifestation. Um, any examples? Any initial insight on manifesting?
Yeah. Well, first, where thoughts go, energy flows. And so I think a lot of us often think about what we don't want to happen in our life instead of what we do want to happen in our life. It's a very different shift in our mentality. Also, the what could go wrong thought process. And then what happens is as we think those things, it tends to happen. Um, and so I just, again, I fall
Mm.
back into the power we have with our thoughts and the intention behind them. And so it's a mind shift. That's a mind shift. That's hard to say. But how often a day do you catch yourself thinking about all the things you're worried about or that you don't want to happen? Then those things happen, right? I don't know, maybe
Mm.
one day you're driving and you're speeding. We all do it. We're listening to tunes, you got the sunshine going, the windows down, and maybe you start thinking, man, I hope I don't get pulled over. And then you pop over the hill and you see the cop and their lights go off, and it just ruins your whole day. How do you know you didn't manifest that? Like, what if you called that in simply because you had the thought? But what if instead you saw the speedometer and you just went, "Oh, I need to slow
Mm.
down before
Mm.
I get pulled over," right? Like such a simple shift in mentality, and then you don't get pulled over. Like you just don't know. But what if we are creating our own situation? And here's an example. I when I was building my yoga business, it was a fear-based mentality. I was constantly afraid of not making enough income and having to close the studio down. And I think because of that, my actions behind maybe how I was promoting my studio and the beautiful work that it was creating, maybe it came off wrong. All because I was
Mm.
manifesting a fear-based business because I was afraid of failing before I ever succeeded. And I think that energy moved forward and I almost manifested that in real form eventually because I was so afraid of losing something instead of letting it grow and be what it was meant to do and thinking of the success that could happen.
Mm.
Um, and so a shift for me has been not thinking about what could go wrong, but instead, what do I want? What do I want out of my business? What do I want to achieve? And this podcast being here with you, Steve, is one of those manifestations because my hope and dream for one day is to have a podcast where I can meet with other healers out in the world to expose that to people so that we know what options are out there. Like you and I both hadn't heard of Reiki until someone told us about it. And so, if we can use this platform just to inform people of all of the healing that's available to you with what works for you, like that's an amazing gift. And so, this is a real example of manifesting because I could have never dreamed I'd be sitting right here in December, but here I am. And I think it's because instead of worrying about what I didn't want to happen, I shifted my mentality to what I do want to happen and how I want to use this beautiful gift of mine to shine a light into an area that's really unknown and feared in some ways, because it's not that scary and it's actually quite beautiful.
Sadly feared. Yeah. And
Yeah.
you said a word before, but it sparked another word, and I want to put them together because
Okay.
let it go and let it grow. You said something about let
Yes.
it grow, but then you were holding back. And I get you. Like, let it go, let it go,
Yeah,
let it grow.
let it go and then let it grow into something that is way beyond what you could ever imagine. And it's all about intention. What do you want to happen? And manifestation, believing that you are worthy of it and setting the mentality of what will happen or what could happen and the excitement and beauty that's there instead of the
Mm,
what if this goes wrong fear-based mentality because that's going to hold us back and block us. The universe wants to give us more of what sparks joy in us, and where our thoughts are guides the universe on where to take us.
so I have a question, and I wrestled with this. I use my intuition, for example, going to an event, maybe a networking event, whatever it might be. I visualize what it's going to be like. Who's going to be there? What are they going to be wearing? What are we going to be talking about? What's the vibe going to be? What's it all going to be like? And when I get there, it's really in line with what I was thinking. So this is what I wrestle with. Was it my intuition just like all reading it for me? It's like, all right, we're good. We got that. And I'm better prepared for it. Or did I manifest it to turn out that way, good or bad?
Does it have to be any different? Like, can't your intuition and your
Yeah,
manifestations
yeah, it's all
see?
good.
But it all comes from the same place, though. Manifestations, intention, intuition, it's all part of our subconscious mind. And
Mm,
that connects to our soul.
yeah,
And you have to keep in mind, our soul knew what it wanted when it came into this life. And we're just here to achieve those things. And so, in my mind, when we're talking about intention, intuition, manifestation, all coming from the same source, which is,
yeah.
us, the true you, the authentic you.
It's amazing when you start looking at all of this and the things that are going on and changing. So I'm working on a project with somebody, and a couple of months ago, I said, we need to move this forward. And it's been going a little slower than I wanted it to. I said, we need to move this forward because we have a great opportunity over here in this, just put this over to the side for a minute. Um, and, an alliance that I can create based on the outcome of this project. Wake up this morning on social. Turns out somebody already connected with this situation. It was exactly what I was thinking we were going to do. Somebody already did it. In my mind, it's like, did I manifest that to happen for somebody else? Because
Mm.
that should be us. Not a big deal, but it's just one more like you need to move it forward, get out of the way, move it forward, and get it done. I wonder if I manifested that happening, but it happened with somebody else, or it was just coincidence.
Were you afraid of somebody taking it on before you were able to get there?
It's a really, really excellent question. Deep down inside, probably yes.
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's definitely interesting and worth looking at.
Yeah. Yeah, I never thought of it that way. But again, what we think becomes reality.
It
And it's like
can.
what our parents used to say to us, be careful what you ask for. Guess what? You're gonna get it.
You're
For
gonna get it.
good or
Also,
for bad.
sometimes these situations happen for a reason too. Maybe
Mm.
what's coming to mind needs to shift slightly for you to
Mm.
come through in a different way that wouldn't have happened had that not happened.
Agreed and understood. Or maybe it's okay, it's fire under your butt now. Now it's time before, somebody else
Yeah.
takes the idea, whatever.
Well, how often do we want to be perfect before we get going on something? And then we wait a little too long, or you need this training, or you need this expertise, or, I need this to be done before I take action. When really it's go ahead and start taking actions. You'll
That's
figure it out as you go.
what I'm talking about is exactly what's going on. And somebody that I'm working with, and I used to be a perfectionist. I get it.
Yeah.
That's what's going on. They're like, well,
Yeah.
let's make it perfect. No, just go. Let it go and grow. There you go.
Let it go and grow. And listen, people respond so much better to authenticity than perfection. Perfection is off-putting, authenticity is attractive. Like
Yeah.
everyone just wants you to be you.
Right.
Everyone just wants you to deliver the way you can deliver it. And when we allow ourselves, when we get out of our own way to truly let like our person come through in the way it's meant
Truth.
to, that is when you're going to create magic
How do we
and
do that with
manifestation.
you? How do we find you? How do we connect with you? Whether it's coaching through manifestation or energy healing, Reiki, what do we do?
Yeah. So come to my website, www.plyhealing.com. You can message me through there if you have questions, but I also have introductory sessions where we could set up a 15-minute call and just kind of get to know each other and see if I'd be a good fit for your healing needs. So yeah, you can just schedule a call with me, or you're welcome to reach me by contacting me through the webpage.
Awesome. This is everything, people. This is you can change your future with the intention you set and with you walking that journey as well. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, love your energy. I really do. Like I'm in a better mood in the last 20 minutes. Seriously
Wow.
so.
You know how to make a girl feel so good.
Yeah, you know what? I'm being authentic. I really am. That's the truth.
I love that.
Have a great weekend. We'll catch up next time.
Next time. See ya.
We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.